Welcome to another edition of ACF411, the official podcast of the Allen County Fair. And I'm your host, Russ Decker. We're here in the podcast parlor, which used to be the milking parlor here on the north end of the dairy barn here at the Allen County Fair. So, special guest joining us today. We're kind of surprised. We have Kelly Coble with us from OSU Extension, and your job is really big at the fair because you're in charge of 4-H.
Yes, I have a lot of things I do during the fair. We are managing all the shows, getting all of those things ready. We hire all the judges, we get all the people in, making sure that all of our animals get sold off to packers, that they get on the trailers to go those places. Right now we're selling some of our individual carcasses to people so that we can make sure that those get sold and processed. But yeah, we have a lot of things going on. So
4-H, Junior Fair, just keeping track of Garth can be probably a full-time job.
Yep, it can. Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about a building I think a lot of people may not visit, and they probably should, up on the north end of the fairgrounds. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So tell us about some of the projects that they'll find up in where we have those special projects.
Yep. So our youth exhibits building is located up front, and it has all of our special interest projects in it. And there's about 200 different projects that you can take, and they include things like cooking, laundry, leadership projects, some healthy living projects, sewing. Some of my favorites are the gardening projects, and then an extension of those, learning how to either can or process and freeze some of those projects that you might grow in your garden. And then we also showcase all of our FFA projects. So you're getting to see some really nice woodworking projects down there, and you're getting to see some of their welding and their electrical projects that they want to display at the fair.
So I know that, we talk about this all the time. There are so many different opportunities for kids in 4-H and FFA, but for everything from making a rocket to growing a plant. Mm-hmm. And it is, if I remember, is there 1,400 projects this year? Or?
Yeah, so up in that front building, there is probably just shy of 1,000 up there. And we are right around between 18 and 1,900 overall projects in here. So that includes all of our livestock, all of our breeding, and all of those things. And then our dog projects that they just come in on one day, and so you don't really get to see those unless you're here on our first Saturday. In 4-H, you can take the livestock projects, but you can also take a dog project. You could have a cat if you have a lizard. Any kind of thing that you have at your house, you can pretty much enter into a project.
So, see, you just got my curiosity. Because with a dog, I get it. Because you can teach them to heel and walk and fetch and things. I have cats and dogs, but cats, you really can't teach them anything, can you?
No, so our cat projects are more about grooming, taking care of them, different things like that. They learn different breeds of cats and those kind of things.
Because I'm thinking if you have a kid that can teach a cat to do anything, they probably should be at the state fair, right?
Yep. And almost all the 200 projects that we have up there are special interest projects. That judging is in July, and it's done in mid-July because we send the majority of our winners to the state fair. And so those individuals get a chance to go to the state fair, they get a chance to show off those projects, and they're competing. Mostly, every county can send one kid for them, and so you're competing against 88 different individuals. And so they have the opportunity to win a clock trophy. So that is the best project that they had that day in that category. Or the top 10% receive outstanding project awards. And so we did receive a handful of those this year, and we were really excited for our kids that got to go. And for the most part, those are on display also down there, their clock trophies or their outstanding ribbons.
So one last question, and then I will let you go, because we trapped you in here.
Yeah.
I'll confess we did that. Let's talk about Thursday, Friday. We have the livestock sale. Folks that have never participated in the sale as a buyer, what's involved? I mean, a lot of people are thinking, well, I'm not going to be a buyer at the livestock sale because what would I do with, a hog or a chicken?
Yep. So we started something brand new this year. So on Thursday, we are going to start what we have is online add-ons. And so those add-ons just go directly to the kids. We do a premium only auction. And so that just means that you're giving kids additional dollars on top of a market check that they're getting. If you are interested in buying an animal, you are more than welcome to buy that animal, as long as it's a carcass animal. But for the most part, it's just an additional check that those kids can get. We also have people who come into the ring, and they are just they might be the ring buyer there. We have online options. You can come to the fairgrounds, and you can do an add-on in person in either the junior fair office or the senior fair office, or you can send me an email to also add that on to those youth. And they are super appreciative of all those add-ons that they get, because most of them use that money to then buy next year's project. Or we hear kids about all the time, they used it for their first semester of college, and those kind of things. But if it's a younger member, for sure they're probably using it to then buy next year's project to get started early.
Excellent. Kelly Coble, thanks for stopping in unexpectedly into the podcast parlor, and I'm sure we'll see you around the fair. You will see me here all week. All right, thanks. Thank you. We'll be right back here at the ACF411 Podcast studio in just a minute from the Allen County Fair.